So hello and welcome, guys. We finally finished our tournament for this weekend over at Bristol, big independent gaming store. There's a mural behind us. We've had a good weekend.
We have, yeah. It's been a really good weekend. I think yesterday, through a few spanners in the works, working as a group. I think from my side as a sort of new player, having a real range of really experienced and competitive lists to some more themed and more similar level to myself. I think that day two's been quite a good experience in terms of finding a medium of similar experiences and level of armies to myself. I know you've probably quite enjoyed as well today, playing different people rather than being on the top tables.
Exactly. I mean, the way it worked out is that if you qualified for winning your group day one, you were then allocated into which group for which day two. So you've then got 4 different groups of people that had scored similar as in day one out of the 4 games that we played. So you should, in theory, get games that are matched to a similar ability or similar scoring based on what you've done. Which I think is quite nice, and again you get some opportunities to play people who you don't often play so much. I think that's good. Day one, I managed to win 3 games, and then I lost my final game, which meant that there was 3 of us tied on the same, but it came down to the VP diff, which I think there was 1 point between 3 of us, so I missed out on the top 2 spots for Group 1. Which is frustrating, but I couldn't do much about it. It was one of those. And then went into Group 2, and Group 2 was people that I hadn't played, so that was good. And then you went from day 1 in Group 3?
Yeah, I was Group 3 day 1 and carried over to Group 3 again. So my first game I lost to 7-2, then I had a 2-2 draw against Hobbits, which we didn't really get into the meat of the game until about turn 5 or 6, and by then the game only had about 20 minutes left.
And they're quite a slow force, aren't they?
Yeah, 60 models and 18 traps, and it's an experience.
Not great.
Then my third game was a 12-0 win, which sort of I think turned it round for me.
Yeah.
And then it was a narrow loss. Starting off today, I ended up beating the guy who I beat.
So you ended day 1 2-2.
1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses.
Okay, yeah. And then you went into Group 3 today.
Group 3 today.
Yeah.
First off, played the guy's son, the guy's dad, who I beat day 1.
Yeah.
Which was another compelling victory for me. It was a 10-2 victory, so I feel sorry for the family affair.
Just abused the family.
Yeah. And then I had the pleasure of playing Hobbits again, which they ambushed on a piece of terrain because there's no...
and this was recon.
Yeah. There was no area of deployment, so they could deploy 6 inches from the board edge, and they ran straight off turn 2 with 12 models. And
which you can't do much about, if I'm honest.
I was on the back foot from there, and then I went Death or Glory on my last game, and I lost 3-2, and I made the decision that I either tried to win at the end of that turn, or if it had gone another turn, I'd have won. Yeah, I took the ballsy move and it didn't pay off, but it was quite fun, and this experience, we had a really good competitive game.
Yeah.
And we've got a strange come to see us now.
The Mike Tetley's run off.
But no, it was enjoyable.
But your first tournament, you're happy?
Yeah, exactly. I think I've only played yourself and another local guy.
Given the spread of players, it was quite a competitive handful of players that I'd expect you to probably lose to at the first level. But I think you've done quite well just to kind of get through it. Or the main thing is you've had fun. So
exactly.
But yeah, that's good. My day 1, who did I play? First game against Angmar, I think I won 8-0? No, 10-0. 10-0 for me against Angmar. Next one against Ali King, beat him 4-2. Next game I won 12-0. Last game I lost, and it was a loss of 8-0, I believe, because I charged Thranduil right at the death and I lost my leader, which was grim. But I couldn't do much because Maelstrom, 34 models, Morannons, Troll Chieftain, Malthus Sauron, ganking my 9/9 Hills Dwarfs, and Thorin, and everything went wrong with the roll-offs and God knows what, so I didn't have much say. They get +1 to wounds, so all my high defence is just gone, so I was like, great, I can't do much now. And then I've lost half my force before Thranduil's even on the battlefield, so that wasn't great for them. but it is what it is. And then day 2, I played 3 games. I played one guy twice, who had Gil Gallard and a Lindil, and he did quite well in his second match, so I think that's why we played, because we were tied on. Well, we had similar VPs. But I managed to win all 3 games day 2, so that was Gil Gallard and Lindil twice. The numbers benefited me, so again it was a slog for him to win the objectives, and the ones he played against me were domination and breakthrough, so very much objective grabber ones, so I didn't have to focus too much on killing Gil Gallard, because who wants to kill Gil Gallard on a horse? It's just obscene, fighting 9. Then you've got 3 heroic combats from a Lindel who's fight 7, so even with Frangel and Foreign, they're outmatched. So, I mean, if it was a contest of champions, it's a different game.
Yeah.
But that was quite an interesting one. And then I played a lovely Moria Force, which again was very close, and I won that 1-0, which is ridiculous because he had a bat swarm, so I assumed that he would run the bat swarm off, which he didn't. It got stuck in combat and it got stuck halfway through. So, and by the time he'd taken all his time to move up with his models to the halfway line, it wasn't enough time for him to get that off, or anywhere close. And then I did 1 wound on his general after he failed fate saves on a double 1. So that was fantastic without the might to boost it. So
You can't account for dice.
I know, that was so lucky. Otherwise it was a stalemate and we both knew it for so many turns. So it's like, that was a huge win, being 1-0 enough. So I ended up with 3 wins there. So a total of 6. How many did we play?
Played 4 yesterday, 3
Played
today.
7. I've lost 1. So
6 wins.
6 wins. 6 wins, 1 loss, which any other tournament would do fantastic. But this one, because of the capping, I could only win my group. So from the group, we've got some lovely 3D printed trophies, which are one here, which I think everybody got for winning their group.
Yeah.
And then some vouchers which have gone towards more toys. So my Mirkwood Knights for my Mirkwood Force, and we're going to have a crack at battle companies at some point soon. So Paul convinced me to do that, and my wife's going to kill me. So because she watches the channel and she knows exactly what I spend my money on. So
It wasn't me.
Paul.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, and she
Did not
grasped me up watching football last night as well. Just saying it.
They only cost a £5, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Everything costs a £5, which is
Everything
good
cost
news.
a £5.
But hopefully you've enjoyed that. It's just a quick breakdown. Dewey and Luke are pretending to run another tournament later in the year.
Yeah, they're sort of saying one day then, by the sounds of it.
Yep, and I think the venue itself, if I give you a quick panoramic view. There's Clubley. So it's actually quite a big room. Plenty of space. Obviously, COVID restrictions all adhere to. There's not many people here now, so we've got masks off. And the venue are very good. They offer discount. They offer obviously prize support. So do get along and support them if you're in the southwest. They do run other tournaments as well. So just search for Bristol Independent Gaming. And again, hopefully you've liked that. Get yourself to your local tournaments, and hopefully see you in the next videos. Ciao.